The pepper soup hit my face like liquid fire. I screamed as the boiling liquid seared my skin, the smell of goat meat and Scotch bonnet peppers mixing with my burning flesh. Through my tears, I saw Chakotay standing over me, his designer bodice splattered with soup, his face twisted in rage. "You embarrass me in my father's house?" he roared. "Using the wrong spoon like a bush girl?" His mother gasped. His father stood up from the head of the table. But nobody moved to help me as I clutched my burning face, soup dripping from my hair onto the expensive Persian rug. "Chakotay," his sister Ngozi cried out, but he silenced her with a look. He grabbed my arm and dragged me through the marble hallway of their Ikoyi mansion. I stumbled, half blind from pain and tears, as the elaborate dinner party we'd prepared for weeks dissolved into chaos behind us. Outside, Lagos rain pounded the compound. He threw open the gate himself. "Get out," he hissed. "We are not the same class." I don't know what I was thinking bringing a Surrealere rat into my family. He shoved me into the rain and slammed the gate. I collapsed onto the wet pavement, my face on fire, my white lace dress ruined, watching the security lights of the mansion blur through my tears. That was 3 months ago. Now, as I watched Chakotay's face on the projection screen at Eco Hotel, giving his victory speech to investors and Lagos elite, I pressed send on my phone. Within seconds, the screens around the ballroom flickered. His speech was replaced by something else entirely. The security camera footage from that night. Him pouring the soup. Him dragging me. Him calling me a rat. Then came the documents. Bank statements showing fraud. Tax evasion records. Emails proving he'd been stealing from his own father's company. The ballroom erupted in chaos. Chakotay's face went white as he turned to see his crimes displayed for everyone. His father stood up, clutching his chest. His mother screamed. And I stood in the back of the crowd, wearing a red dress and a smile. This is what happens when you burn the wrong woman. Hello guys. Welcome to my African Tales. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share it with your friends, and most important thing, turn your notification bell so you can get informed when I dropped another amazing story. Drop your thoughts and reactions in the comments. What would you do if your spouse tried to kill you and you survive? Will you take a revenge or disappear forever? 3 months earlier, I should have known something was wrong when Chakotay didn't pick me up himself. Instead, he sent his driver to collect me from my one-bedroom apartment in Surrealere. I'd spent the entire day preparing for this moment, the formal introduction to the Okonkwo family. My hair was freshly braided, cornrows leading into a neat bun. I wore the white lace dress I'd saved 3 months of salary to buy. Even my mother had contributed money for the gold earrings that now dangled from my ears. "You look beautiful, Amara," my neighbor Auntie Blessing had said as I left. "That boy is lucky to have you." The Okonkwo mansion in Ikoyi was everything I'd imagined and more. The compound had a fountain, actual security guards in uniform, and cars that cost more than my father made in 10 years as a teacher. The house itself was a modern palace of white walls and floor-to-ceiling windows. Inside, the air conditioning was so cold I shivered. A uniformed houseboy led me through corridors decorated with abstract art and family photos of the Okonkwos in London, Dubai, New York. Chakotay had told me his father owned shipping companies and real estate across West Africa, but seeing the evidence of their wealth made my stomach tight. The dining room was enormous. A crystal chandelier hung over a table set for 12 people with more silverware than I'd ever seen in one place. Chakotay's father, Chief Okonkwo, sat at the head in full traditional attire. His mother, Mrs. Okonkwo, wore gold jewelry that could feed a village. 4 of Chakotay's siblings were there, along with an uncle and 2 family friends I didn't recognize. "Amara," Chakotay said, rising from his seat. He kissed my cheek quickly, formally. "You made it." He didn't introduce me as his fiancée. Didn't mention that he'd proposed 2 months ago with a ring I wore proudly on my finger. Just gestured to an empty seat near the middle of the table, far from him. The dinner started with small talk I couldn't follow. They discussed people I didn't know, places I'd never been, business deals that meant nothing to me. I smiled and nodded, trying to look engaged. Then came the soup. The houseboy placed a bowl of pepper soup before each guest, along with 3 different spoons. I watched everyone pick up the medium-sized one, and did the same. "Wrong spoon," Mrs. Okonkwo said, her voice cutting through the conversation like a knife. Everyone stopped talking. All eyes turned to me. "That's the dessert spoon, my dear," she continued, her smile sharp. "The soup spoon is the larger one. Didn't they teach you table manners in— where did you say you were from again?" "Surulere, Ma," I said quietly, putting down the wrong spoon and picking up the right one. "Ah yes, Surulere," Chief Okonkwo said, as if the name explained everything. Chikwudi's jaw was tight. I could see the muscle twitching in his cheek. But he said nothing in my defense. His sister Ngozi tried to change the subject. "The soup is delicious, Mama. Is this the recipe from—" "Chikwudi," his father interrupted. "I hope you've thought carefully about this situation." "Situation. Not relationship. Not marriage. Situation." "I have, sir," Chikwudi said stiffly. "Because the Nwosu family has a daughter. Beautiful girl. Georgetown educated. Her father and I have been discussing." "I know, sir." I sat frozen, the soup spoon trembling in my hand. They were discussing arranging a marriage for him, right in front of me, as if I wasn't even there. Mrs. Okonkwo turned to me with false sweetness. "Amara, dear, you understand how these things work, don't you? Families like ours, we have certain expectations, certain standards to maintain." "Mama, please," Ngozi said. "I'm just being realistic, Ngozi. Look at her. Sweet girl, I'm sure. But Chikwudi is the heir to the Okonkwo Empire. He needs someone who can navigate society. Someone from our level." The table went quiet. I could feel tears building behind my eyes, but I refused to let them fall. My mother had warned me. "These rich families," she'd said, "they look down on people like us. Don't let them make you feel small." But I felt microscopic. "I understand, Ma," I managed to say. "Chikwudi and I love each other." I thought that was what mattered. His mother laughed. Actually laughed. "Love? Child, this is Nigeria, not a Nollywood film. Love doesn't pay bills or maintain empires." I looked at Chikwudi, willing him to speak up, to defend us, to defend me. He was staring at his soup. That's when his uncle spoke up, the one who'd been drinking heavily. "Chikwudi, your father is right. You can have your fun with this one, but marriage? Come on. Be serious." "I am serious," I said, finding my voice. "We're engaged." I held up my hand, showing the ring. It wasn't as large as the ones his mother and sister wore, but it was real. He'd given it to me on the beach at Lekki, promised me forever. Chief Okonkwo's face darkened. "Engaged? It's not official," Chikwudi said quickly. Too quickly. "I mean, we haven't done the traditional rites. Nothing is settled." My heart cracked. "Chikwudi. Enough." Chief Okonkwo slammed his hand on the table. "This is why we're having this conversation. You're making reckless decisions. Proposing to some girl without consulting the family?" "I'm not some girl," I said, my voice shaking. "I have a name. I'm a person. And Chikwudi asked me to marry him. He said he loved me." Mrs. Okonkwo turned to her son. "Is this true? You actually proposed?" Chikwudi's face was red. I could see the war happening behind his eyes. Then he made his choice. "It wasn't serious, Mama. We were just seeing each other." She took it too seriously. The words hit me like a slap. "What? Amara, you know how it is. We had fun together, but you must have known this couldn't be permanent. Look at us. Look at you." The table erupted in agreement. His mother looked relieved. His father nodded approval. Only Ngozi looked uncomfortable. I stood up, my whole body shaking. "You're lying. You told me you loved me. You took me to meet your mother last month. You said—" "I say a lot of things." Chikwudi cut me off, standing as well. His eyes were cold now, unfamiliar. "Don't be dramatic." "Dramatic?" My voice rose. "You proposed. You gave me this ring." I was screaming now, I realized. Making a scene. Exactly what they expected from someone like me. Someone from Surulere. Someone not from their level. That ring cost 50,000 naira, Mrs. Okonkwo said with disdain. My morning jewelry costs more. I reached for the soup, intending to throw it in Chikwudi's face, to do something, anything to make him feel a fraction of what I was feeling. He was faster. He grabbed his own bowl and threw the contents at me. The boiling liquid hit my face, my neck, my chest. I heard myself screaming, but the sound seemed far away. The pain was everywhere, burning, searing, stealing my breath. Through the agony, I heard voices. Ngozi crying. Mrs. Okonkwo scolding Chikwudi. Chief Okonkwo saying, "Get her out of here." Strong hands grabbed me. Chikwudi, dragging me from the room. I couldn't see properly. Couldn't think past the pain. You embarrassed me, he was saying. You made me look foolish in front of my family. Coming here with your cheap dress and your delusions. Did you really think you could be an Okonkwo? We reached the gate. The security guard looked away as Chikwudi shoved me outside into the rain. Go back to Surulere, he said. Go back to your level. And if you ever contact me again, if you ever speak about this family, I will destroy you. I will make sure you never work in Lagos again. Do you understand me? You are nothing. You were always nothing. The gate slammed shut. I don't remember how long I knelt there in the rain, my face burning, my heart shattered. Eventually, I made it to the main road and flagged down a kiki. The driver took one look at my face and offered to take me to the hospital. I told him to take me home instead. In my bathroom mirror, I saw the damage. Burns across my left cheek and forehead. My dress ruined. My dignity destroyed. But something else was happening too. Beneath the pain and humiliation, something cold and hard was forming. A determination. A promise. Chikwudi Okonkwo had made a mistake. He thought I was nothing. He thought he could burn me and throw me away like garbage. He was about to learn exactly what nothing could do. The burns took 3 weeks to heal properly. I called in sick to work at the digital marketing agency where I managed social media accounts. My boss, Mr. Adeyemi, was understanding when I explained I'd had an accident with hot oil while cooking. I couldn't tell him the truth, that a man had disfigured me at a dinner party while his family watched. My mother came to stay with me. She applied shea butter to my wounds and prayed over me each morning. She didn't ask what happened. She knew, the way mothers always know. Men like that, she said one evening as she changed my bandages, they think they can treat us anyhow because of money. Your father was a good man, but even he looked down on market women. This is Nigeria. Money is God. I loved him, Mama. I know, baby. I know. But love was dying inside me, replaced by something colder, harder. I spent my days in bed, not just healing, but planning. I opened my laptop and began researching. Chikwudi Okonkwo. The Okonkwo Group of Companies. Chief Okonkwo's business empire. I found more than I expected. Years of newspaper articles about the family's rise to power. Photos of Chikwudi at society events, always with different women on his arm. An interview where he talked about taking over his father's empire, making it more modern and aggressive. Then I found the cracks. A small article from 2 years ago about allegations of fraud at one of their shipping companies. Charges that were mysteriously dropped. Another piece about unpaid taxes. A blog post by a former employee claiming the Okonkwos had stolen his business idea. They weren't just wealthy. They were corrupt. And they'd gotten away with it because of their connections, their money, their power. I thought about going to the police, filing charges for assault. But I knew how that would end. The Okonkwos would pay off whoever needed paying off. I'd be labeled a scorned woman looking for revenge. They'd destroy my reputation like Chikwudi had promised. No. If I wanted justice, I'd have to take it myself. My phone rang. An unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Amara? A woman's voice. Young. Nervous. Who is this? It's Ngozi. Chikwudi's sister. Please don't hang up. I sat up, wincing as my healing skin stretched. What do you want? I want to apologize. What my brother did, what we all did, it was wrong. I should have said something, done something. But you didn't. I know. I'm a coward.
She paused.
How's your face? Healing. Good. That's good. Another pause. Amara, I'm calling because I think you should know something. Chikwudi is getting engaged. The words hit me like another bowl of soup.
What?
To the Nwosa girl. The one my father mentioned. They're announcing it next month. There's going to be a big party at Eco Hotel. All of Lagos society will be there. I closed my eyes, feeling the anger rise. Of course he was moving on. I was already forgotten. Already nothing. Why are you telling me this? I asked. Because you deserved better. And because. She hesitated. Because my brother isn't a good person, Amara. I love him, but he's not. None of us are. We're rotten. Our money is dirty. Our hands are dirty. And maybe someone should know the truth about us. Ngozi, I have to go.
I'm sorry.
For everything. She hung up. I sat there in the dark, my laptop glowing in front of me, an idea forming. A terrible, beautiful idea. I knew social media. I knew how to make things go viral. I knew how to build narratives, create stories, capture attention. It was my job, my skill. And I had 3 weeks until Chikwidi's engagement party. 3 weeks to gather evidence.
To build a case.
To prepare my revenge. I opened a new browser window and created an anonymous email address. Then another. Then 10 more. I'd need them all. My mother appeared in the doorway. Amara, you should be resting. I am resting, Mama. She looked at me for a long moment, seeing something in my face that made her frown. Don't do anything foolish, my daughter. Let God handle it. God helps those who help themselves, I replied. She sighed and left me alone. I turned back to my computer. The first email I sent was to Chikwidi's former employee, the one who'd written about having his business stolen. I introduced myself as a journalist investigating the Okonkwo group. Within an hour, he responded. With documents. With details. With names. The second email went to a contact I'd made through work, a friend of a friend who worked at the Federal Inland Revenue Service. I asked vague questions about how one might access tax records for research purposes. She sent me a phone number. One by one, I pulled at threads, called in favors, made new connections, used my real name sometimes, fake names others. I was careful, meticulous, patient. I learned that Chief Okonkwo hadn't paid corporate taxes in 5 years, that their shipping company was being used to smuggle goods, that they'd bribed government officials to win contracts, that they displaced entire communities to build their real estate without proper compensation. The Okonkwos weren't just wealthy. They were criminals. Well-dressed, well-connected criminals. And Chikwudi was learning to be just like them. I found a hacker through a tech forum. A guy called Cyber_Nija, who claimed he could access anything for the right price. We negotiated. I paid him 200,000 naira, nearly all my savings, to get into the Okonkwo group servers. Within a week, I had emails, financial records, documents that proved everything. But I needed one more thing. Visual evidence. Something emotional. Something that would make people care. I remembered the security cameras at the mansion. Chikwudi had bragged about them once, saying his father had installed military-grade surveillance throughout the house after a burglary attempt, which meant somewhere there was footage of that night, of him pouring soup on my face, of him dragging me out. I needed that footage. I called Ngozi. She didn't answer. I called again, and again. Finally, on the 5th try, she picked up. Amara, you can't keep calling me. If my family finds out, I need your help. I can't.
I'm sorry.
I already said too much. Ngozi, please. Just listen. Your brother assaulted me. He burned my face and threw me out like trash. And now he's going to marry someone else and pretend nothing happened. I can't let him get away with it. Silence on the other end. I need the security footage from that night, I said. That's all. Just help me get that and I'll leave you alone. That's impossible. My father controls the security system. The footage is locked. But you could get to it. You live there. Amara, you said you were sorry. You said we're rotten. Help me prove it. Help me show Lagos who your family really is. More silence. Then, quietly, what are you planning to do? What needs to be done? She breathed heavily into the phone. If I help you, they'll never forgive me. They'll disown me. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. Another long pause. Then, the engagement party is in 2 weeks. I'll see what I can do.
But Amara?
Whatever you're planning, be careful. My family doesn't lose. They destroy people who try to hurt them. Then I'll have to destroy them first. I hung up and returned to my laptop. 2 weeks. 14 days to prepare for the most important night of my life. The night I would stop being nothing. The night I would become everything. The thumb drive arrived by courier 1 week before the engagement party. Inside was a note in Ngozi's handwriting. This is all I could get. May God forgive us both. I plugged it into my laptop with shaking hands. The video file was labeled front_gate_cam_October15.mp4. I pressed play. There I was in grainy night vision, being dragged through the Okonkwo compound by Chukwudi. Even without sound, the violence was clear. The way he yanked my arm, the way I stumbled, the moment he shoved me into the rain and slammed the gate. But the second file was better. Dining_room_October15 MP4. This one had sound. I watched myself at that dinner table, watched the condescension from his family, watched their sneers and dismissals. Then came the moment. Chukwudi grabbing the soup bowl, me trying to back away, the liquid hitting my face, my screams. And through it all, his family just watching. His mother's expression of disgust. His father's nod of approval. Only Ngozi, looking horrified. This was it. This was everything I needed. I copied the files to my cloud storage, then to 3 different backup drives. I wasn't taking any chances. The week passed in a blur of preparation. I bought a new dress, red, bold, nothing like the modest white lace I'd worn that night. I got my hair done in a sleek ponytail. I practiced my makeup until the scars on my face were nearly invisible. But more importantly, I built the digital infrastructure for my revenge. I created a website using an anonymous hosting service. Simple, clean, impossible to take down quickly. I uploaded all the documents there, the tax records, the emails, the financial statements, the complaints from displaced communities. Everything organized by category with timestamps and source citations. Then I created social media accounts across every platform.
Twitter,
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. All with the same name, @OkonkwoTruth. I crafted the posts carefully. Not angry rants, but factual presentations. The truth about the Okonkwo Empire, a thread. Screenshots of documents. Quotes from affected people. Links to the website. I scheduled everything to post simultaneously. The moment I pressed one button, it would all go live across the internet. But the centerpiece would be the video. The security footage of my assault. That would be what made it personal. What made people care. I edited it down to 2 minutes. Added captions explaining what was happening. Ended it with a title card. This is what happens when you embarrass a rich man in Nigeria. Share this. Let Lagos see who the Okonkwos really are. 3 days before the party, I got a call from a blocked number. Hello. Amara Okafor? A man's voice.
deep,
Menacing.
Who is this?
Someone who wants to give you advice. Drop whatever you're planning. Walk away. Leave the Okonkwo family alone. My blood went cold. I don't know what you're talking about. Don't play games. We know you've been asking questions, making calls. Someone is paying attention. And these are not people you want to upset. Is this a threat? It's a warning. For your own good. These people have reach. They can make you disappear. They can ruin your life. Your mother's life. Everyone you love. Tell them I'm not afraid. He laughed. Then you're a fool. But you've been warned. He hung up. I sat there, my hands shaking. They knew. Somehow they knew I was planning something, which meant I was running out of time. I called my mother. Mama, I need you to go stay with Aunt Chioma in Ibadan for a few weeks. What? Why?
Please.
Don't ask questions. Just do it. Pack a bag and go tonight. Amara, what have you done? Nothing yet, but I'm about to. And I need to know you're safe. She was quiet for a moment. Then, you're going after that boy's family. Mama. I'm not leaving you alone, Amara. I'm your mother. If you're in danger, we face it together. This is my fight. Then let me fight with you. In the end, I convinced her to at least stay with a cousin across town. Somewhere the Okonkwo's wouldn't think to look if things went wrong. The night before the engagement party, I couldn't sleep. I kept checking my preparations. The website was live but hidden. The posts were scheduled. The video was edited and ready. I had a burner phone to control everything remotely. I'd even prepared an exit strategy. A friend who'd agreed to drive me to the airport if needed, no questions asked. Everything was perfect. Everything was terrifying. At 3 a.m., I got a text from Gozi. I heard they threatened you. It's not too late to stop this. They'll kill you, Amara. I'm not being dramatic. My family has done it before. I replied. Then I'll die knowing I fought back. Some things are worth the risk.
She didn't respond.
The day of the engagement party arrived. I dressed slowly, carefully. The red dress fit perfectly. My makeup was flawless. My scars were invisible. I looked like a different person. I was a different person. The woman who'd worn white lace and believed in love was gone. In her place stood someone harder. Someone dangerous. Someone with nothing left to lose. Eco Hotel was transformed into a palace of lights and luxury. Security checked invitations at the entrance. I didn't have one, of course, but I'd planned for that. I approached a young security guard, smiled, and handed him an envelope with 50,000 naira inside. I'm late. My invitation is with my date who's already inside. Please. He looked at the envelope, looked at me, looked around, then pocketed it and waved me through. Inside, Lagos society had turned out in force. Politicians, business moguls, Nollywood celebrities, everyone who was anyone, there to celebrate the union of two powerful families. I stayed in the shadows, watching. Chukwudi looked handsome in his custom suit, greeting guests with his fiancée beside him. She was beautiful, light-skinned, curvy, wearing more gold than seemed physically possible. The Nwosu daughter. His level. His class. Mrs. Okonkwo held court near the champagne fountain, laughing with other wealthy women. Chief Okonkwo stood with government officials, probably discussing their next corrupt deal. Ngozi was there too, in a corner, looking miserable. The evening progressed with speeches and toasts. Someone from Chukwudi's father's company talked about the merger of two great families. Chukwudi's best man made jokes about marriage. Everyone laughed at the right moments. Then it was Chukwudi's turn to speak. He took the microphone, smiled that charming smile that had once made my heart skip. Thank you all for being here tonight, he began. This is a celebration not just of love, but of family, of tradition, of building something lasting. I pulled out my burner phone. My thumb hovered over the screen. One tap, and everything would change. For him. For his family.
For me.
For a moment, I hesitated. Thought about all the warnings. About the consequences. About the fact that there would be no going back from this. Then I remembered. The burn. The pain. The humiliation. His words. You are nothing. You are always nothing. I pressed the button. Nothing happened for about 15 seconds. Then someone's phone pinged. Then another. Then a dozen. Then 100. People started looking at their screens. Gasps spread through the crowd. Someone said, "Oh my God." Someone else. Is this real? The large screens around the ballroom, meant to show romantic photos of Chukwudi and his fiancée, flickered. Then they changed. My face appeared. Burned.
Crying.
Being dragged through the rain. The video played. Chukwudi's voice. You are nothing. His mother's laugh. His father's approval.
The soup.
My screams. The ballroom erupted in chaos. People were shouting. Chukwudi had stopped mid-speech, staring at the screens in horror. His fiancée was crying. His mother was trying to get the technical team to shut it down. But you can't shut down the internet. I watched from the shadows as everything I'd built went live. The website, the posts, the documents. Within minutes, hashtag #OkonkwoTruth was trending in Nigeria, then West Africa, then worldwide. Security rushed toward the screens. Chief Okonkwo was shouting orders. Several guests were already heading for the exits. Chukwudi looked around desperately, as if searching for the person responsible. His eyes swept past me once, twice, then locked on. Recognition.
Shock. Rage.
Our eyes met across the crowded ballroom. I smiled, raised my phone in a small salute. He started pushing through the crowd toward me. But he was too late. The police arrived, not bought-off local police, but federal agents I'd tipped off about the tax evasion. They pushed past security, surrounded Chief Okonkwo. Chief Okonkwo, you're under arrest for tax fraud, money laundering, and corruption. The ballroom descended into pure chaos. I slipped out a side door, into the Lagos night, leaving behind the sound of shouting and sirens and the complete destruction of the Okonkwo empire. It was done. I had stopped being nothing. The first week after the exposure felt like living in a dream. I watched from my apartment as everything unfolded on the news. The Okonkwo scandal dominated every channel. Billionaire family exposed for massive fraud. Tax evasion scandal rocks Lagos elite. Social media activist brings down empire. They didn't know it was me at first. I'd been careful. Anonymous accounts, untraceable posts. But Nigeria is small when it comes to high society gossip. Within 3 days, someone identified me as Chukwudi's ex-girlfriend. Then the video went viral again, this time with my name attached. Suddenly, I was famous. Interview requests flooded my phone. News outlets,
Podcasts.
even international media wanted my story. I ignored most of them, but did one interview with a respected journalist, a woman known for exposing corruption. "Why did you do it?" she asked me on camera. I touched my cheek, where the scars were still faintly visible. Because powerful people think they can destroy those beneath them without consequences. I wanted to prove them wrong. The interview was viewed 5 million times in 2 days. People were calling me a hero. Nigerian woman takes down corrupt elite. My social media following exploded. Strangers sent messages of support, sharing their own stories of abuse by the wealthy. But not everyone was celebrating. My boss called me into his office the Monday after the party. Mr. Adeyemi looked uncomfortable, wouldn't meet my eyes. "Amara, you're an excellent employee. But given the publicity around you right now, and some of the clients we work with, I think it's best if you take some time off. Extended leave. Paid, of course." "You're firing me." "I'm protecting the company. Some of our clients know the Okonkwos. They're not happy about this situation." I cleaned out my desk that afternoon. Then came the death threats. Messages on social media. Emails. Even letters delivered to my apartment building. "You destroyed a good Nigerian family. You're jealous because he didn't want you. Watch your back, bitch." Some were from random people who supported the Okonkwos. Others felt more organized, more dangerous. I stopped sleeping well. My mother insisted on moving back in with me despite my protests. "I'm not leaving you alone with these crazy people sending threats," she said. She bought a new lock for the door and insisted on screening all my calls. But the real gut punch came from an unexpected source. Ngozi called me 2 weeks after the party. I almost didn't answer. "Amara?" Her voice was thick with tears. "My mother had a stroke." I sat down heavily. "What?" "After the arrests. After the shame." She collapsed. "She's in the hospital. The doctors say she may never fully recover." She was crying now. "You destroyed my family. Was it worth it?" "Ngozi, I'm sorry about your mother, but your family destroyed themselves. My younger brother lost his admission to university abroad. The scholarship was canceled. He's 17, Amara. He didn't do anything wrong. My sister's engagement was broken off. My father is in prison. Chukwudi is in prison. Our accounts are frozen. We're losing everything. You knew what they were doing was wrong, and you decided we all deserved to suffer for it? Even the innocent ones?" She took a shaky breath. "I helped you. I gave you that footage because I thought you deserved justice. But this isn't justice. This is revenge. And you didn't just hurt Chiquitty. You hurt all of us. She hung up. I sat there feeling sick. I'd been so focused on bringing down Chiquitty and his father that I hadn't thought about the collateral damage. His mother, who'd been cruel but hadn't committed any crimes. His younger siblings, who'd never done anything to me. Ngozi, who'd helped me. That night, I couldn't eat. My mother made dinner, but I pushed it around my plate. You're having regrets, she observed. His mother had a stroke. His 17-year-old brother lost his scholarship. Ngozi helped me, and now her life is ruined too. My mother was quiet for a moment. Did you know this would happen? I knew there would be consequences. I just didn't think about who would bear them. That boy poured boiling soup on your face, Amara. His family watched and did nothing. They called you nothing. Treated you like garbage. I know. But does that make me right? She sighed. Right and wrong aren't always clear, my daughter. You fought back against people who hurt you. Maybe some innocent people got hurt in the crossfire. That's tragic. But what was your alternative? Suffer in silence while they continued destroying others. I wanted to believe her, but guilt was eating at me. The next blow came 3 days later. I was at the market with my mother when 3 men surrounded us. They wore casual clothes but moved with military precision. Amara Okafor? One asked. Yes. You need to come with us. Who are you? He pulled back his jacket to show a gun. People who don't like repeating themselves. My mother grabbed my arm. You can't just take her. It's okay, Mama, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. I'll be fine. I wasn't fine. They took me to a warehouse in Apapa. Inside, a man in an expensive suit sat at a makeshift desk. He was middle-aged, well-fed, with cold eyes. Miss Okafor, please sit. I sat. The 3 men stood behind me. My name is not important, the man said. What's important is that you've caused problems for some very powerful people. The Okonkwo's broke the law. He held up a hand. I don't care about the Okonkwo's. They were useful, but not irreplaceable. I care about the precedent you've set. A nobody from Surulere bringing down a connected family? That makes other nobodies think they can do the same. So you're here to threaten me. I'm here to make you understand reality. He leaned forward. The Okonkwo's paid certain people for protection. Politicians. Police commissioners. Judges. Those people are now very unhappy. They've lost a revenue stream. Some of them might face exposure themselves if investigators dig too deep. That's not my problem. It is now. He slid a folder across the desk. We know where your mother lives, where your siblings go to school, your cousins in Enugu, your aunt in Ibadan. We know everything about everyone you love. My blood ran cold. You wouldn't. We would. Easily. Accidents happen all the time in Lagos. Gas explosions. Armed robberies. Hit and runs. He smiled without warmth. But it doesn't have to come to that. All you need to do is disappear. Disappear? Leave Nigeria. We've arranged a visa to Canada. One-way ticket. You go quietly, stop talking to the media, let this story die down. In exchange, your family stays safe. And if I refuse? Then we start with your mother. Maybe a fire in her apartment. Maybe she gets mugged. Maybe she just disappears one night. Your choice. I felt tears burning my eyes, but refused to let them fall. How long do I have? 1 week. The ticket is in the folder. We'll be watching. They drove me back to the market and left me there, shaking and terrified. I didn't tell my mother everything. Just that I needed to leave the country for a while. She didn't believe me, but she didn't push. That night, lying in bed, I realized the full weight of what I'd done. I'd won the battle but lost the war. The Okonkwo's were destroyed, yes, but the system that protected them was still intact. And that system was now coming for me. I had stopped being nothing. But in doing so, I'd painted a target on my back and on everyone I loved. The question now wasn't whether I'd done the right thing. The question was whether I'd survived the consequences. And whether anyone I cared about would survive them either. 5 days before my scheduled flight to Canada, a package arrived at my door. No return address. No name. Just a manila envelope with my name written in block letters. Inside was a USB drive and a note. The truth is more complicated than you think. Watch this before you run. A friend. I should have thrown it away. Should have assumed it was a trap. But curiosity, or maybe desperation, made me plug it into my laptop. The drive contained video files.
Dozens of them.
All labeled with dates going back 15 years. I clicked on the oldest one. The video quality was poor, clearly from an old security camera. It showed a young Chikwudi, maybe 12 years old, cowering in a corner while his father towered over him with a belt. "You embarrass me in front of guests," Chief Okonkwo roared. "You used the wrong fork like a commoner." The belt came down. Again. Again. Young Chikwudi screamed. I felt sick, but kept watching. The next video showed Chikwudi at 15, being slapped by his father for getting A B on an exam. BS are for poor people.
Okonkwo's get as.
Another video, Chikwudi at 17, watching his father berate a houseboy until the man was crying. Chief Okonkwo turned to his son. "This is how you treat people beneath you. With strength. With dominance. Never show weakness." There were dozens more. Years of abuse, humiliation, psychological torture. I watched Chikwudi transform from a sensitive boy into the cold man who'd burned my face. The final video was dated 3 years ago. Chikwudi, now an adult, in what looked like a private study. Across from him sat 2 men in dark suits. "Your father's business partners have a problem," one said. "Some villagers are refusing to sell their land for the new development. We need you to persuade them."
How? Chikwudi asked.
"However necessary. Your father says you're ready to handle these matters." "I don't want to hurt anyone." The man leaned forward. "Your father has made certain arrangements over the years. Some of them involve you. If you don't cooperate, if you ever try to expose the business, evidence will surface implicating you in various crimes. Tax fraud, money laundering, even murder." Chikwidi's face went pale. "Murder? I never." "Doesn't matter what you did. Matters what we can prove. Your father made sure you're tied to everything. So when we say jump, you say how high." "Understood." Chikwudi nodded slowly. He looked broken. I sat back, my mind reeling. The man who'd abused me had himself been abused. The monster had been created by a bigger monster. It didn't excuse what he'd done to me, but it explained it.
My phone rang.
"Unknown number." I answered. "Did you watch?" A woman's voice. Familiar, but I couldn't place it. "Who is this?" "Someone who knows what it's like to be trapped by the Okonkwos." "Did you watch the videos?"
"Yes."
"Why are you showing me this?" "Because you deserve to know the truth before you destroy yourself with guilt. Chikwudi isn't innocent, but he's also not the villain you think he is. He's a victim who became an abuser. The real villains are still out there." "Who are you?" "Someone who escaped. 10 years ago, I was where you are now. Chief Okonkwo's mistress. When I got pregnant, he tried to force me to abort. I refused. He had me beaten so badly, I lost the baby anyway. Then, he paid people to make sure I could never work in Lagos again." My stomach churned. "I'm sorry." "Don't be sorry. Be smart. You think bringing down the Okonkwos changed anything? The same politicians are still in power. The same police are still corrupt. The same businessmen are still exploiting people. You cut off one head of the Hydra. That's all. Then what was the point? The point is surviving. Learning. Maybe one day fighting smarter. But right now? Take that ticket to Canada.
Live.
Fight another day. They threaten my family, and they'll carry out those threats if you stay. I know these people. I've watched them destroy lives for 20 years. You got your revenge. You humbled them. That's more than most people get. Now get out while you can." She hung up. I sat there for a long time, thinking about everything. About Chikwidi's abuse. About his father's crimes. About the system that enabled all of it. About Ngozi and her mother, and the innocent people caught in my revenge. About the fact that nothing had really changed except that I'd made powerful enemies. 2 days before my flight, I received a letter. Prison mail. From Chakotay. My hands shook as I opened it. Amara, it began. No greeting. No pleasantries. I suppose you think you won. Maybe you did.
My father is in prison.
Our company is being liquidated. My mother may never recover. Everything my family built over 3 generations is gone because you couldn't accept being rejected.
But I want you to know something.
The night I poured that soup on your face, I had just received a phone call. My father's business partners, the ones who control everything, told me that if I didn't break things off with you, they would kill you. They said you were a liability. Too curious. Too nosy. They'd been watching you investigate us. I didn't know how to protect you except to make you hate me. To make you leave. So, I did the cruelest thing I could think of. I humiliated you so thoroughly that you would never want to see me again. It worked. And now, because you couldn't leave well enough alone, because you needed your revenge, you've exposed yourself to the same people who threatened to kill you. The Okonkwo's are finished. But those business partners? They're still out there. Still powerful. Still dangerous. I'm dying, by the way. The stress has triggered a heart condition I've had since childhood. Another gift from my father's abuse. The doctors give me 6 months, maybe less. So I'll be dead soon. My family is destroyed. And you? You get to spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, wondering when they'll come for you or someone you love. Congratulations on your victory. We both lost. The letter wasn't signed. I read it 3 times, trying to decide if I believed him. Was he telling the truth about trying to protect me? Or was this just another manipulation? Did it even matter? I thought about the videos of his childhood. The abuse. The way he'd been molded into a weapon by his father, and then trapped by people even more powerful. I thought about Ngozi and her mother. About the younger siblings who'd done nothing wrong. About the houseboys and security guards who'd lost their jobs when the company collapsed. I thought about all the lives my revenge had touched. Some guilty.
Some innocent.
All damaged. The day before my flight, I went to visit my mother one last time. She was staying with my aunt now, somewhere the men in suits hopefully wouldn't find her.
You're really leaving, she said.
It wasn't a question. I have to, Mama. It's not safe here anymore. Did you get your justice?
I thought about that.
I got my revenge. I'm not sure it's the same thing. She hugged me tight. My daughter, the warrior. I'm proud of you, even if I wish you'd chosen a different battle. Me too, Mama. Me too. At the airport the next day, I sat in the departure lounge, waiting for my flight to Canada. My phone buzzed with a final message from an unknown number. Smart choice. Have a good life. But remember, you can run from Lagos, but you can't run from yourself. You'll have to live with what you did, with who you became, with the terrible truth that sometimes revenge destroys the avenger more than the enemy. Safe travels. A friend. I deleted the message and boarded the plane. As Lagos disappeared beneath the clouds, I touched my cheek, where the scars had been. They'd faded now, barely visible. But I could still feel them. Would always feel them. Chakotay had poured hot soup on my face and called me nothing. So I'd destroyed his entire world. In doing so, I'd become exactly what he'd accused me of being, someone driven by rage and pain, willing to hurt anyone in pursuit of revenge. The terrible thing I'd done to him wasn't the exposure. It wasn't the arrests or the public humiliation. The terrible thing was that I'd proven him right. He'd said I was nothing. And in my desperate attempt to prove otherwise, I'd lost myself completely. Become someone I didn't recognize. Someone who could justify collateral damage. Someone who could sleep at night knowing innocent people had been hurt by her actions. I looked out the plane window at the clouds below. Somewhere down there was Nigeria. Lagos. The life I'd known. The person I'd been. I was flying toward a new country, a new identity, a new chance. But I was bringing the old Amara with me. The one who'd learned that the line between justice and vengeance is thinner than blood. That revenge is a fire that burns the one who lights it as much as the one it's aimed at. That sometimes winning means losing everything that matters. Chakotay was dying in prison, his empire in ruins. I was alive and free, flying to safety. We'd both gotten exactly what we deserved. And we'd both lost everything that mattered. The plane climbed higher, carrying me away from Lagos and toward an uncertain future. Behind me lay the wreckage of 2 lives, 2 families, 2 souls destroyed by pride and pain, and the terrible truth that sometimes there are no winners in war. Only survivors. And even they carry scars that never fully heal.